YouTube? Jamie the Kid 00 here, coming at you guys with a regionals report. I went to Cardiff Regionals today with, well, it's now yesterday because I'm recording this about 12:30 at night. I took my Mermail brew that I've been working on the past few weeks that you've seen on my channel, and I ended up taking first place. I took third place after Swiss and won out in the top cut to end up taking first place. I managed to win this lovely Gravekeeper mat, which I'll actually kind of try and zoom out for you guys to see. One of the Gravekeeper mat, which I actually quite like. I'm probably going to get rid of it, but it's really, really nice. I won one of the green deck boxes, so now I have a green one as well as the blue one, so I might as well start a collection. I also won a box of Legacy of the Valiant, which I will be opening shortly after this video is published. And I also, from my 3 Astral Pack 4s, which I got, this is the first locals we were giving them out, I managed to get an Ulti Dandy out of my Astral Pack 4s, so I can't say I'm not pleased with today's events. Walking away with about maybe 100 quid's worth of prizes for an £8 entry, I don't mind at all. But I'm just going to start going through the list, and then at the end of the video I'll talk about what I played against. This is a list that I haven't profiled yet. It's not much different from the latest version because I started to really get to where I wanted to be. But I honestly, after today, I feel there is very little I would change with the build. Actually, there are a few things, but let's get into the list. The first thing is that I would actually change is the first card in the deck. This is one of the few things that I agree with Patrick Hoban on. I didn't want to play Patrick Hoban's deck because I really didn't like his build. But Mermail of Mislead was a bit crap. He was big today. He put in a bit of work because he was big, but at the same time, he was a bit lackluster. I would have preferred that if this was the third Megalo. If this was the third Megalo, it would have been a lot more useful. I then played, because I'm playing the Undying deck, double Mermail of this Megalo. I felt that the third was a bit dead. When I was testing on Dueling Network and test handing, the third one started to clog a little bit. So 2 Megalo was the way, but I definitely cut a lead for a third Megalo if I were to play this deck again. I'm not sure if I'll play it again because I want to actually use some of my other decks for once because I've been focusing on Mermail because of the regionals. But yep, carry on. 3 Mermail of Teus. Nothing to criticize there. Teus was just stunning as he always has been. Like, it's a card that you have to play at 3 in my opinion. 3 Lind. Again, an absolute staple. You don't want to change anything about this. I was so aggressive with this Lind. I always am aggressive. Hopefully I've got a few. My friend recorded my top 8, top 4, and top 2 game. And I'm going to try and get those uploaded as soon as I can, as soon as I get the files off of him. But I was really aggressive with this thing. I hardly ever set that. I literally just attack into things with Lind. It's too aggressive. Something that I bumped up from my last video was I went up to 3 copies of Mermail Abyssgund. I really wanted to emphasize on the Pike Turge play a little bit more, and the guns really, really helped with that. Also, I changed out my Mirror Forces for Geki Breaks, I'll say that now. And the fact that Gund triggers when it's discarded off of them is ridiculous, so I thought, why not? Why not play these? So 3 Gund. For the 4s, I play 3 Mermail Abyss Pike, because Pike is ridiculous and Pike Turge plays were the nuts today, so 3 Pike. And then, of course, the 1 accompanying Turge, which was really, really nice. Some controversy that I actually ended up avoiding because I just assumed that it didn't work was that there's a conflicting ruling about Turge. If this card sends like a heavy infantry from your hand to the grave and then adds it back, does the heavy infantry activate? Because a lot of places say differently. Some people say it does activate because it can be revealed in hand. Some people say it doesn't activate because the hand isn't public knowledge. So we ended up ruling that it didn't activate just to be on the safe side, but it did cause some awkwardness for a few players who thought it would activate. Which actually came up in my top 4 match against Ping Zhao, the winner of ICS Brighton, who did the same thing, and I had to call him out on it because I knew that I'd already asked the judge because I was going to be playing Mermail. For the Atlanteans, I played the full 7. I played 1 Dragoons, 3 copies of Marksman. I would be playing 2, but I played Diva. Whenever I play Diva, I have to play 3 of this. So 3 Marksman, and even sometimes I ran out of Marksman occasionally for my Diva. So the 3 Marksman, and then 3 Heavy Infantry. I completely disagreed with Patrick Hoban's mentality that infantry doesn't really hinder anything in this format. I feel that having that access to that destruction really, really does help, and you don't lose to things like Ophion anywhere near as hard, and it just gives you destruction against really random stuff. A lot of the time against things like fire, and against things that this was less relevant against, I did side one out quite a lot, but triple infantry was solid in my opinion. And then for the one-offs, I played 5 one-off monsters in the form of 1 Deep Sea Diva, because Deep Sea it was really good. It tested really nicely throughout the day. It did get chained a couple of times, but in a lot of those situations I actually used it to bait out the Fiendish chain more than anything else, because I was then able to commit with like a Megalo and Megalo title, or a Megalo push in general. So the Diva kind of served its purpose. It baited out a lot of things, and in situations where it wasn't baiting stuff out, it was ridiculous. And I did sack it a couple of times in my top matches, which will be in the features if I manage to get them off my friend. I then played 1 title. There's nothing to talk about with regards to this card. It was outrageous and shouldn't be in the deck. Whoever gets the title first is usually going to win the game. The 1 Undyne, which was this was so throughout the day, mainly because of its brother, the Gen X controller. I opened the controller more times than I care to admit. I believe in Top Cut I opened it and in each and every one of my features. And so did Ping. Against me, 2 games in a row, Ping set this and then tributed it for Vanity's Fiend, which was horrible for me. But like the controller isn't always bad anymore because of the Raigeki breaks and things like that, and the access to Leo being a ridiculously good new synchro. And then the final monster I played was Gauze, the Emissary of Darkness. The only time I ever summoned this card was the only time I ever drew it. And that was against Ping Zhao in top 4 of elimination, when he had game on me. I had 19. He has lead Gund. I have 2 set back row. I go Sphere. He attacks with Gund for. He attacks with Gund. Sorry. He has Lind and Lind Teus. Sorry, I'm going crazy. He has Lind Teus, and I have 2 set back row. He goes attack with Lind to put me on 400. I go Sphere, he goes MST, I chain my set MST to my Sphere, and then managed to drop the Gauze on the 1500 damage, which left me in an incredible situation, and I managed to claw the game back there from 400 damage. Bearing in mind, at this time, Ping was on 8,000 and had a massive amount of advantage on me, and I managed to claw that game back from there. I'd already lost game 1, so the Gauze was the only time I ever saw Gauze, and he easily won me that game. So that was the monster lineup. I can't honestly tell you how many it was. I believe it's about 28 at a guess. Yeah, it should be 28 because this is a 40 card deck. So that was the monsters. I'm pretty pleased with those, and I've told you guys what I would change. Yeah, 28. For the spells, I played 1 Dark Hole. I ended up putting this back in after I'd been juggling around with the side deck. I still really like this. It's something that I sided out a lot when I was going first in like game 3, because I didn't want to draw it dead. I didn't want to draw it when I was going first, when I wanted to establish board presence, and then be all like, well, this is great and all, but if my opponent has pushes, I take a lot of damage. So there was the whole double salvage. This put in a lot of work as well. This was something that people didn't expect. A lot of people had been looking at Hoban Mermail, and a lot of people were expecting me to run a very similar build to Hoban Mermail. So playing my own variant really kind of tripped people up. And I even beat a Hoban Mermail variant in Mirror, so like I really like playing salvage. It gave me a lot of plus plays. It was just too good. And I then played the full suite of 3 MST in the main. I know that I've been playing Tooth repeatedly recently, but I really wanted to have ways around Fiendish Chain and I forgot the name of it now. Tenki. I wanted to be able to win my fire matchups. I ended up playing 2 and won 1, lost 1, and I won a Bujin matchup as well because I was able to hit Tenkis as well. But I really wanted to have outs to those 2 cards, which are massively raising in popularity. And also I wanted to be able to get off Exit on Night, which I haven't been able to do at the 3 locals I've played so far, but I actually managed to make Exit on Night today. And I really didn't want the Fiendish Chain to come out. So that's another reason I was playing the triple MST. Because Exit on Night MST is basically all your cards go boom. So that is the spell lineup. It's just 6 spells. None of that upstart junk. And then for the traps, I played double Raigeki Break. Just because it was more versatile destruction than punch the camera. It was more versatile destruction than Mirror Force, in my opinion, and it gave me a full suite of chainable traps, so that if my opponent MST'd anything, I could at least chain it and make them go at least -1, get my kind of plus. So, Raigeki Break was really, really strong. It let me target things really strategically, so I have no quarrel with it. And pitching Gund and having Gund's effect activate is it's pretty nice. I then played Triple Sphere. Triple Sphere, again, ridiculously good card. And then the MVP trap in the trap lineup was Abyss Squall itself. Abyss Squall was return from the different dimension for this deck. It let me do some absolutely outrageous things. It won me my finals match. I think it won me my top 8 match. I think it won me a game in top 4. And it won me so many games in Swiss. Squall was just such a ridiculously good card. Activating this, bringing back 2 level 7s and a Lind, and just having shenanigans, or 2 level 4s and a Lind, going Exciton Knight, and then the 4s blow up. Like, that was something I only did in testing, but it was really, really good. So that was the complete main deck. It was 40 cards. I wouldn't change any spells or traps. I'd just change the monster lineup. Although I might consider changing the Raigeki Rakes, because almost every match I played, I considered siding them out for Divine Wraths, and I usually did. I did side Divine Wrath. So on to the extra deck. Let's move on to the extra. The extra is 1 Armades, because Armades is ridiculous, and it won me my top 8, because my opponent went first, because I lost game 2. I won game 2. He went Dweller, no back row. I have Diva and a whole hand of kind of stuff Dweller stops. So I just go Diva, it resolves, I make this and kill Dweller, and then I'm able to go off completely. So Armades was ridiculous. And then I played against Bujin round in the finals. And there was a situation where he has Yamato, nothing else, Crane in hand, Turtle Engrave, and I'm able to just go this and go, that's a dead Yamato. So good game. So it was ridiculous. Black Rose Dragon, I ended up making this once against a Fire Fist player and took his field away, long story short. So Black Rose was stupid. Crimson Blader, I never made this. I never had a situation where I needed to. This was in here because I sided Veilers. You can make it with Diva plays, but it was almost always in here because of the Veiler. And I never made it because I only ever... Whenever I actually had the Veiler and like a title, I only ever made this big guy. Leo, the Keeper of the Sacred Tree. This card is like a huge thing in the meta right now. The meta is like really focused on this card, and I had some absolutely ridiculous plays with it. So I absolutely loved Leo. He put in so much work. So Leo, ladies and gentlemen. For the Xyzes, 1 Armored Kappa. I only made this once. The Trite and Bahamut Shark combo. I never actually made these. I normally make these a lot, but I never made these today. Sorry I'm speeding up, but my battery's starting to run out. The number 101 Silent on Arc. This won me my final game in Swiss against a Fire Fist player, because I was able to take his Kagutsuchi away, Bujin Kagutsuchi away from him. So Silent on Arc was pretty damn good there. Dweller for the mirror match, and Hieratic Ruler. I didn't play Hieratic Ruler, but I did play the mirror match twice, 3 times. No, I played 4 mirror matches, so Dweller was MVP in those games. The 1 Exciton Knight, which I've actually made for once, it won me a game against Fire Fist. I was able to make this against Fire Fist and it resolved, so it was really, really good. And then finally the 1 Love Chain, which I did use to drop, what's it called? Title, which I didn't think I was gonna. I was originally not playing this until Friday night, and then I ended up bunging it in, and it put in loads of work. Then for the 7s, I played double Mecha Phantom Beast Draco Sack. I only ever made one of these, but it is what it is. Big Eye, I never actually made this. And then Gaios, I made this a couple of times. He was pretty damn powerful. Just the Gaios lock is outrageous. So that is the extra board. And then, of course, the tokens. The lovely, beautiful tokens. So we're going to move on to the side quickly. I borrowed a few ideas from Hoban's side deck. I'm trying to actually find my side. There it is. From Patrick Hoban's side, because I was running out of ideas. So some of these things are quite borrowed, but at the same time some of these things are pretty damn cool. So I played Double Veiler. I put this in against Fire and Geargia. I never saw it against Geargia, but it was pretty damn good against Fire. I didn't like putting it in the Mermail Mirror. A few people were siding it for the Mermail Mirror, and I really didn't like it. I just had my 3 Max C, which I was siding for that very mirror. And the Veilers were in there for Prophecy as well, which I never actually played, which I was actually quite afraid of. So the 3 Max C were in here for the mirror, OTK decks, Hieratic Rules, things like that. Geargia. So the 3 maxi were pretty legit. Double Twister for anything that played loads of back row, anything like Fire. This went in against Fire, usually game 3 or whenever I was going first. So Twisters were good. These were so good at getting around like macros and fissures that I got stuck behind a couple of times. One Blackwing player, I played round 4, got me locked behind macro for a while, and this is the card that got me out of it. And it was the same against fissure and a few other matchups. I then played double Light Imprisoning Mirror for the Bujin matchup. Long story short, and the Hieratic Ruler matchup. Double Divine Wrath. These were in here for Prophecy and the Mermail Mirror, and sometimes, if I was feeling lucky, the Fire Mirror. Sorry, the Fire game. Because if I played this against Fire and they ended up trying to like bear me or Wolfbark, I could use Divine Wrath and just completely take out the problem rather than trying to go Raigeki Break and getting lanced. So I figured that out after the game I played against Kaz in round 2 where I lost. So every other Fire matchup this went in and it wrecked face. I then played double DNA Surgery for Bujin, Prophecy, all that jazz, and I then played double Skill Drain for Fire, Geargia, all sorts of weird stuff. This went in against some Blackwing variants as well. So Skill Drain was it was a really nice meta call today. A lot of people relied on their effects, so Skill Drain put in a lot of work. Right, to talk about my matchups, I'm just going to try and find like a card to put in the background. For my matchups, round 1, I ended up playing against a Mermail player who'd only had the deck since Wednesday, bless him. So some of his plays were a bit lackluster, and then ended up winning that 2-1. He did manage to win a game against me by like getting a marksman, like a Diva OTK off, and there was just nothing I could do. There was nothing I could do to stop him. So credit to him there. Round 2, I got 2-0'd by my friend Kaz, who was playing Fire Fist. He was really well practiced in the deck. He'd been speaking to Patrick Hoban and Bodan, the people who took first and second at the ARGCS Charlotte, and kind of defined this format so far. So he'd been discussing it with them, and he absolutely wrecked me. He didn't get any plays wrong. So that put me 1-1 really early on, and I had to go X1 to top after 7 rounds. Round 3, I ended up playing against Blackwing, which I 2-0'd. Round 4, I played against another Blackwing player, Sean Godley. A lot of UK players will probably know that name. I ended up 2-1ing him. Game 3 was absolutely ridiculous. He had me locked behind macro for the longest time, and I managed to shut it off really late in the game and managed to reclaim my position when he ran out of monsters. He just stopped drawing monsters, and I guess like playing 15 monsters kind of came back to bite him in the ass. So that was pretty good. Round 5, I actually ended up playing against a Geargia player, my good friend Johnny, who gave me a lot of testing before the event. And I really need to actually apologise because I did technically lose this game. I ended up going 1-2 against the Geargia player, but he did have to go to work, so he did end up dropping the game to me. So I guess I kind of cheated my way there a little bit, but he was always going to scoop it at the end of the game anyway. He was discussing it with me at the end of game 2 when we were 1-1, so I guess that was always established, but thank you so much, Johnny. Like, you're responsible for this win. Round 6, I ended up playing against a player called Kenny Mansfield, who was playing Mermail. He was playing the Patrick Hoban build. I ended up 2-1ing that. In some situations, the deck was really fast. We both discussed that we really didn't like the Reckless Upstart Goblin draw engine. We just really didn't like that in the deck. I really didn't like it. I tested the deck before the event, and it just really wasn't working out, so that's why I stuck to it, and he wasn't liking it either. Which brings me to round 7, where I was 5-1. I ended up playing against a Fire Fist player who I've played before, and I ended up 2-0ing that matchup. There's not really much to say there. Exciton Knight put in work, and Black Rose put in even more work. So, again, if you have the MST to the Phoenix Chain, you win those matchups. Which brings us to the top 8. Top 8 was pretty damn cool. I ended up playing against Mermail in top 8. In both of my Mermail games, I lost game 1. I ended up losing game 1 to the Mermail player and managing to claw it back games 2 and 3. It was ridiculous. Game 3 against him when he went first was the game in which I had the Diva in order to go Armades and kill his Dweller that he committed to turn 1, which meant he was down 1 card to me, and I was able to start pushing advantage from there. In top 4, I ended up playing against Ping Zhao, a player that I regard as an incredibly good player and a player that I actually quite regard as an idol. to me. And I actually ended up beating him. This is the first time I've ever beaten Ping, and it was kind of a milestone in my books. It was a really, really fun game. It was a game that Gauze single-handedly won me because he just, like, no one saw it coming because no one had ever, I didn't drop it against anyone. But at first when I dropped it, he didn't actually look at it, and he thought I was joking about dropping Gauze. He thought I'd actually kind of scoop the game. But no, I had actually dropped Gauze, and it was the Lord and Saviour, and I managed to claw back game and then take control. Game 3, in which I kind of opened a bit nutty. And then in the finals, I played against a Bujin player who, credit to him, I kind of opened really, really aggressive games 1 and 2. Game 1, he went first, and I just kind of went absolutely ham on his field. Took minus plays, because against Bujin, you really don't want to give them long enough to set up. So I committed my entire hand turn 1 in response to his field of just a set monster and 2 set back row. I extinguished my entire hand, got an incredible board presence with a Megalo and a set, I believe it was a set sphere, and I was just beaten down at that stage. And then game 3, I opened an game 2, I opened an equally very strong hand, and he didn't open. I don't believe he opened Yamato. So it was a bit of a lackluster final. Hopefully I'm going to get these feature matches off of my friend and get them uploaded. But otherwise, that's about everything I wanted to talk about. This has been a very long video, but it's been worth recording. I hope you guys have all enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed this. I'm really happy to have a first place win with Mermail. It's definitely been a long time coming. I was working really hard on this deck, so I feel like I deserved it. And hopefully I will be attending the European Championships in Amsterdam. And yeah, that's about everything. This has been Jamie the Kid 00. Let me know any comments about the build or anything like that in the comment section below. And I'll be back soon with a box opening of that box that I won for prizes. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.